Tuesday, September 30. Heirs of Promises. In Joshua chapter 1, verses 2 and 3, the Lord tells Joshua that he is giving the land to them. On the other hand, he said that he has already given it. What does that mean? Let's read those texts. Joshua chapter 1, verses 2 and 3. Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, you and all this people, to the land which I am giving to them, the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given you, as I said to Moses. The land was a gift from the Lord, who was the real owner. In Joshua chapter 1, verses 2 and 3, two different forms of the verb to give are used, reflecting two significant aspects of inheriting the land. The first form expresses the process of giving the land. Only the Transjordan territories had been occupied by Israel. Most of the promised land had yet to be taken. In Joshua 1 verse 3, the verb is used in its perfect form, giving the impression that the land had already been given to them. When God is the subject of such actions, the form is called the prophetic perfect. And that's because what he promises in his word is an assured fact that can be trusted as present reality. The pronouns in verse 3, you and your, are plurals, so the promise is given not only to Joshua, but to the entire people of Israel. The reference to the promise given to Moses conveys the continuity of God's cause. Also, the word kol, K-O-L, meaning all or every, is repeated numerous times in the first chapter. The pervasive presence of this noun expresses the totality and integrity that is crucial to attaining the objective set before Joshua. There has to be a perfect alignment between God, Joshua, and the people of Israel in order to assure success in the forthcoming conquest of the promised land. Read Joshua chapter 1, verses 4 to 6, and Hebrews chapter 6, verses 17 and 18. At that moment, the promised land was exactly that, a promise. Yet, God calls it an inheritance. What does it mean to be the heirs of God's promises? Joshua 1, beginning at verse 4, when the wilderness and this Lebanon as far as the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and to the great sea toward the going down of the sun, shall be your territory. No man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and of good courage, for to this people you shall divide as an inheritance the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. And then we compare that with Hebrews 6, verses 17 and 18. Thus God, determining to show more abundantly to the heirs of promise the immutability of his counsel, confirmed it by an oath, that by two immutable things, in which it is impossible for God to lie, we might have strong consolation, who have fled for refuge to lay hold of the hope set before us. There is nothing magical about the promises of God. They don't have the power in and of themselves to secure their own fulfillment. The guarantee that they will come true lies in the presence of God, who says, I will be with you. Indeed, the presence of the Lord was crucial for the survival of the Israelites. Without it, they would be only one among many nations with no special call, identity, or mission, as we read in Exodus chapter 33, verses 12 to 16. And that reads, Then Moses said to the Lord, See, you say to me, Bring up this people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. Yet you have said, I know you by name, and you have also found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray, if I have found grace in your sight, show me now your way, that I may know you, and that I may find grace in your sight, and consider that this nation is your people. And he said, My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. Then he said to him, If your presence does not go with us, do not bring us up from here. For how then will it be known that your people and I have found grace in your sight, except you go with us? So we shall be separate, your people and I, from all the people who are upon the face of the earth. The presence of the Lord was everything Joshua needed to succeed. Nothing today has changed, which is why we have the promise of Jesus found in Matthew 28 and verse 20 to finish today. Teaching them to observe all things that I have commanded you, and lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age.
Tuesday, September 30. Heirs of Promises. But the word of God had not failed, neither did it meet its final accomplishment in the occupation of Canaan by the Jewish people. To Abraham and his seed were the promises made. Galatians chapter 3, verse 16. Abraham himself was to share the inheritance. The fulfillment of God's promise may seem to be long delayed, for 1 day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as 1 day. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. It may appear to tarry, but at the appointed time it will surely come. It will not tarry. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. The gift to Abraham and his seed included not merely the land of Canaan, but the whole earth. So says the apostle, the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. Romans chapter 4, verse 13. And the Bible plainly teaches that the promises made to Abraham are to be fulfilled through Christ. All that are Christ's are Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise, heirs to an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, and that fadeth not away. The earth freed from the curse of sin. Galatians chapter 3, verse 29, and 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 4. For the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. And the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. Daniel chapter 7, verse 27, and Psalm 37, verse 11. God gave to Abraham a view of this immortal inheritance, and with this hope he was content. By faith he sojourned in the land of promise as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. For he looked for a city which hath foundations, whose builder and maker is God. Hebrews chapter 11, verses 9 and 10. Of the posterity of Abraham it is written, These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. Verse 13. We must dwell as pilgrims and strangers here if we would gain a better country, that is, an heavenly. Verse 16. Those who are children of Abraham will be seeking the city which he looked for, whose builder and maker is God. Patriarchs and Prophets, pages 169 and 170. The voice of God was heard, bidding him not to expect immediate possession of the promised land, and pointing forward to the sufferings of his posterity before their establishment in Canaan. The plan of redemption was here opened to him in the death of Christ, the great sacrifice, and his coming in glory. Abraham saw also the earth restored to its Eden beauty, to be given him for an everlasting possession as the final and complete fulfillment of the promise. Patriarchs and Prophets, page 137.
And remember, God is always faithful.